The time response analysis is defined as analysis on time taken by the response of the system to reach the steady state value of input. Analysis on time taken by the response of the system to reach the steady state value of input. It is divided into two parts. First one, transient state analysis. First one is transient state analysis. It deals with the nature of response of a system when subjected to an input. Second, steady state response analysis. It deals with the estimation of magnitude of steady state error between input and output. So if you observe, say with respect to time, we are taking input and output on this axis. We are subjecting the system to this input. Assume this is the nature of response of a system. This is the output. Now the analysis on time taken by the response of the system in going from initial state to final state is called as time domain or time response analysis. This is divided into two parts. That part of time response which deals with the nature of response of a system, we call it as the transient state. Transient state analysis. Now once the response reaches the final value of the input, then we say there is no error present between this input and. If it is not reaching the final value of the input, then we have to find how much is the error. So estimating that magnitude of error between input and output, this analysis we call it as steady state analysis. So this time domain analysis we learn under two headings. First, nature of response called as transient state, nature of error called as steady state analysis. To do this analysis, we are not having any actual system. Everything is done on a mathematical model representing a system. Therefore, the various types of inputs affecting the performance of a system also need to be mathematically represented. So the various types of inputs in real time which affect the performance of a system are represented mathematically as the standard test signals. One type of inputs that occur in real-time applications are sudden inputs. Sudden input is mathematically represented as step signal. The second type of input which occurs in real time is velocity type input. Velocity type input means an input which is changing linearly with time. This is mathematically represented as ramp signal. The third type of input is called as acceleration type input. Acceleration type input means non-linearly changing input, which is represented as parabolic signal. Then we have fourth type of input which affects the performance of a system, which is called as sudden shocks. Sudden shocks is mathematically represented as impulse. So these are the standard test signals. Among them, the first three we generally use in time domain analysis, and this signal we generally use in analysis of stability. Now, when you are evaluating the steady state analysis, what is steady state analysis? Whether any error is present between input and output or not. At steady state. At steady state means at t equal to infinity. So to evaluate steady state analysis, you can subject the system to any type of input, whether it is step, ramp or parabola. Whether the magnitude of the input is changing with time or not, we are not bothered, because steady state analysis is at t equal to infinity, whether error is present or not. But to evaluate the transient state, what is transient state? Nature of response and how much time the response will take to go from initial state to final state. Together we call it as transient state. To evaluate the transient state, you cannot subject the system to an input which is changing with time, either linearly or non-linearly. You cannot subject it. To evaluate the transient state, the magnitude of the input should remain constant. That is why transient analysis is usually done by subjecting the system to step or impulse. Generally we use step signal because the signal we use only in stability. But to evaluate steady state, nature of the signal is of no importance, whether it is bounded or unbounded. Its magnitude is time dependent or time independent. We are not bothered because at steady state you are doing the analysis. For example, if you call me from your home and tell me that you will be meeting me here in this classroom, if you come to this classroom and meet me, I will be able to tell you that you have taken about 10 minutes or 20 minutes to reach this place. Between you and me, if I have to tell you that you have taken about 20 minutes to reach this place, between you and me, what is important? Time is already there. Distance is already there. It is not running away. You should come here. This is one thing. And another thing is what? I should stay here. Yes or no? By the time you start from your home, you come here. By the time you reach here, I am somewhere near the Kalusarai Chaurasta. By the time you come there, I am somewhere near the IIT. So if I am also continuously moving, is there any chance that we can meet? So transient analysis can be done if and only if the input remains constant. That is why we use step signal or impulse signal, because its magnitude does not change with time. And here we are taking area. But generally the signal is used in stability analysis. Therefore we say the transient analysis is done using step signal, and steady state, for steady state anything you can do, step ramp or parabolic signals. As a note we will write that point. The transient state analysis is obtained by subjecting the system to step signal only. By subjecting the system to step signal only. Because the transient state specifications can be defined when the input is time independent. When the input is time independent, it should not be time dependent. Then only specifications can be defined. Next, subheading. Type and order of the control system. Type and order of the control system. First point, every transfer function representing the control system, every transfer function representing a control system, has certain type and order. Second point, the steady state response analysis depends on type of the control system. Third point, the type of the control system is obtained from the open loop transfer function G of S, H of S. Next point. The number of open loop poles open loop poles occurring at origin. The number of open loop poles occurring at origin determines type of the control system. Determines type of the control system. So you see, say the open loop characteristics of a control system are of the form of k into 1 plus TAS s power p 1 plus T1s. The type of a control system depends on the open loop transfer function characteristics by observing the number of open loop poles occurring at origin. If P is 0, implies this system is a type 0 system. If P is 1, implies this system is type 1 system. Like that. If P is N, implies the system is type N system. So from the open loop characteristics, by observing the open loop poles at origin, you get the information about type of the system. The transient state analysis is on. The transient state analysis depends on order of the control system. Depends on order of the control system. Next point. The order of the system is obtained from the closed loop transfer function G of s by 1 plus G of s h of s. G of s by 1 plus G of s h of s. Next, the highest power of the characteristic equation equation 1 plus G of s h of s equal to 0. The highest power of the characteristic equation the highest power of the characteristic equation 1 plus G of s h of s equal to 0 determines order of the control system. Determines order of the control system. Now listen here. We are taking an example of the real-time system, which is position control system. We are using two potentiometers which are acting as error detectors. This is potentiometer A. Now, the main aim of this control system is to transfer the input position of the shaft to the load. So, this is connected to the wiper contact of the first potentiometer. As this is displaced, the wiper also will move. It produces a voltage. This voltage, we send it through a servo amplifier. So it amplifies this voltage to the requirements of the next stage with a gain of K. Output of the servo amplifier is going as input to armature controlled DC servo motor. This is an armature controlled DC servo motor. This is the input. This is RA, IA. This is EB. This is the motor, and this is driving the load. This is driving the load. This load I am showing here. This load is having a mass of J and B. This motor is driving this load. So the motor torque is opposed by the mass and friction of the load. As the motor rotates, this load which is present here also will rotate. Now the rotation of this load is connected to the wiper contact of the second potentiometer through an assembly of gears. So we have gears here. This is how we are showing it. These are gears which have a teeth ratio of n. This rotation of gears is C. This is connected to the amplifier, and this is the error voltage E. So I am displacing this input position by R, shaft by R. This wiper will get displaced. It produces a voltage which is going as input to amplifier. It gets amplified. Goes as input to armature controlled servo motor. Motor rotates. The rotation of the motor is theta. As the motor rotates, the load also will rotate. The motor torque is opposed by mass and friction of the load. As the motor rotates, the load rotates. The rotation of the load, as the motor rotates, the load rotates. As the motor rotates and load rotates, the gears also will. The rotation of the gears is C. Rotation of the gears is same as rotation of motor, or it is same as rotation of load. And the rotation of these gears is C, which is connected to the wiper contact of second potentiometer, which we are calling it as potentiometer B. This will get displaced. If C is equal to R, error voltage produced will be 0. But if C is not equal to R, some error voltage will be produced. This entire process will happen till C is equal to R. And hence it is a control system. This example can be understood as an example for moving an antenna to capture the signals from a satellite. When the satellite is orbiting the Earth, you have to continuously move the antenna, because we don't know the satellite will remain at what position when it is orbiting the Earth. So for moving this antenna continuously, you have this control system, but the antenna is nothing but the load there. ये समझ में आया? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
बाद में बाहर आके ये नहीं खाना मेरा। जब मैंने गेट्स ऑपरेशन बताया, ऐसा मैंने बताया। पीएचडी करे हुए कोई गेट्स में, वो बोल रहे हैं आके ये क्लॉकवाइज है तो ये भी एंटी क्लॉकवाइज, ये कैसा हो सकता? ये क्लॉकवाइज है तो ये क्योंकि ये ऐसा है। तो मेरे को ये समझा रहे हैं आके कि ये शाफ्ट है, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं है, माफ कर दो मेरे को। ये है गेज। अब इसका मास J1 है, ये फ्रिक्शन B1 है, इसका मास J2 है, ऐसा ही है। इन ऑल गेट ट्रेन असेंबली अगर फर्स्ट वाला क्लॉकवाइज है तो सारे ऑड नंबर गेट्स सारे क्लॉकवाइज ही होंगे और इवन नंबर गेट्स सारे एंटी क्लॉकवाइज ही होंगे। तो ये हमारा रिप्रेजेंटेशन है सिर्फ। वैसा ही ये जो लोड है इट इज कनेक्टेड टू मोटर। यू अंडरस्टैंड? द मोटर टॉर्क इज अपोज्ड बाय मास एंड फ्रिक्शन ऑफ द लोड। ये सिर्फ एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन है। यू अंडरस्टैंड? तो ज्यादा नहीं सोचना, जितना चाहिए उतना सोचना। I want to determine what is the type and order of this control system. To determine type and order of a control system, always remember type and order is applicable only for a closed loop control system. ये open loop systems का कोई type नहीं होगा, कोई order नहीं होगा। ये जो type and order है ये सिर्फ किसके लिए applicable है? Closed loop system के लिए ही applicable है। So to find the type and order of this position control system, you have to write a transfer function of it. What is the input of this system? R of S. R. R means it is expressed as R of S. What is output of the system? C. C means C of S. First you write an equation at potentiometer. Error voltage is proportional to R minus C. It is Kp into R minus C. It is Kp into R of S minus C of S. We call this as equation 1. Because already we know transfer function of potentiometer is of the form of Kp. Second, at amplifier. VA is directly proportional to VE. VA is KA times VE. VA of S is KA into VE of S. Third, analysis of armature controlled DC सर्वो मोड। इसका ऑलरेडी हमने एनालिसिस किया। TM of S is equal to KT into IA of S. EB is equal to KB into d theta by dt, because the output we are taking as theta. So this will become KB S into theta of S. Then VA minus EB is equal to IARA. EB of S is equal to IA of S into RA. You are following, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
motor torque is opposed by mass and friction of the load. Motor is directly connected to load. Load is connected to second potentiometer bypass through an assembly of gears. This is only a representation. Then Tm is equal to J into d square theta by dt square, B into d theta by dt. It is J square plus Bs into theta of S. Next, at gears, output C is directly proportional to theta. Output C is N into N is the teeth ratio of the gears. This is the seventh equation. यहाँ तक लिखो भाई. Look at these equations. The overall input is present in the first equation. Because we have R minus C, the overall input is R of S. Signal to the summing point is C of S. The transfer function is KB. Output is VE of S. This VE of S is going as input to amplifier whose transfer function is KA and output is VA of S. This VA of S is going as input to armature controlled DC servo motor. Because we are having VA minus EB, you have to take one more summing element and signal to this summing element is EB. The transfer function is 1 by RA. Output is IA of S. This is going to KT. Output is TM of S. This is driving the load. The load is 1 by J square plus Bs. Output is, this is through gears, it is becoming C of S. Now this theta of S is getting transduced back as KBS. Output is EB of S, and this C of S is connected to second potentiometer so that it is compared with input. So we are connecting it to the summing element here. So this becomes the block diagram of this control system. Now I want to determine type and order of this, so you first simplify this block diagram. I am simplifying the inner feedback loop. It is KT by RA into J square plus Bs 1 plus KT KBS by RA into J square plus Bs. So this becomes KT by RA into J square plus Bs plus KT KBS. This becomes KT by RA J square plus Bs plus KT KBS by R. For the sake of analysis, I am calling this as some constant F. So this is expressed as KT by RA. This becomes J square plus Fs. This block diagram is now reduced to, this is KB KA. This entire thing is replaced by KT by RA divided by J square plus Fs. This is N. Output is C of S. This block diagram we further represent it as K by S into Js plus F, C of S, and R of S. Where what is this K? Where what is this K value? Where this K is nothing but KB, KA, KT, N by R. Is this a closed loop control system? Huh? Type and order is applicable only for closed loop control system. ओपन लूप कंट्रोल सिस्टम का कोई टाइप नहीं है, कोई ऑर्डर नहीं है, क्योंकि उसका कोई एनालिसिस ही नहीं है। अब मुझे टाइप पता करना है। टाइप इज obtained from the open loop characteristics of this closed loop system. ओपन लूप कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है? G of S into H of S. ये G of S है, H of S वैल्यू कितना? तो ये क्लोज लूप सिस्टम का ओपन लूप कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या है? K by S into JS plus F. Number of open loop poles at origin से type you will come to know. So this becomes what type system? To find the order, you find C by R and equate the denominator to 0. Or you can construct directly 1 plus GSH is equal to K by S into JS plus F. J square plus Fs plus K. What is the order of the system? So we say that this position control system represents type 1 and order 2 control system. This is the procedure for finding the type and write one note. For finding the type of a control system, for finding the type of a control system, from the open loop transfer function characteristics, so finding the type of the control system from open loop transfer function characteristics, it is desirable that the gain of the feedback element, it is desirable that the gain of the feedback element be unity. That is H of S equal to 1. इधर शुरू है, ये G of S है, ये अब इसका गेन कितना है? When you are finding the type of the system from the open loop characteristics of a control system, it is desirable that the gain of the feedback element be unity, which means it is desirable for H of S to be 1. इसका रीजन ये क्यों है मैं नेक्स्ट टॉपिक में बताऊंगा। सपोज अगर यहाँ पे कोई कांस्टेंट है, सपोज अगर यहाँ पे कोई कांस्टेंट है या कोई फंक्शन ऑफ एस है, you cannot multiply directly GS into HS. You cannot multiply it. You understand? ये क्यों ऐसा है? I tell you in the next topic. अगर यहाँ पे कोई कांस्टेंट टर्म है, 1 के अलावा कोई दूसरा, समझो 10 है, या कोई फंक्शन ऑफ S है, जैसा KS है, या S+2 है, या S+5 है, ऐसा कुछ है, टाइप पता करना है. You cannot multiply directly GS into HS. समझ में आया? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
ये क्यों है हम देखेंगे ऐसा. और अगर ऐसा है तो इसका टाइप कैसा पता करना वो भी हम देखेंगे. अभी टाइम है ना, ये तो टॉपिक भी है ना. एज ऑफ नाउ क्या समझ में आया? टाइप पता करने के लिए इट इज डिजायरेबल गेन ऑफ द फीडबैक एलिमेंट भी 1. अगर कोई नॉन यूनिटी एलिमेंट है यहाँ पे, नॉन यूनिटी एलिमेंट कैन बी एनी अदर कांस्टेंट वैल्यू और इफ इट इज अ फंक्शन ऑफ s, then you should not multiply directly gs into hs. अभी समझो यहाँ पे gs into hs करें तो ये s और ये s कट गया, ये टाइप 0 बन गया. ऐसा नहीं लिखना आंसर. You understand? Next subheading. Next subheading, write down steady state response analysis. Steady state response analysis. It deals with the estimation of magnitude of steady state error. It deals with the estimation of magnitude of steady state error between input and output. अब इधर सुनो. We have a concept called as error compensation. If you remember, when we were discussing about that level control system in the introduction class, we have shown the control loop diagram as this is the controller or compensator. This is the plant. This is the output. And in the feedback, we had measurement. And who is doing this measurement? Sensors or transducers. If you remember, this is the input. The signal here, which is going to the controller, is steady state error. And the signal here, which is going to the control element and plant, is the actuating signal or control signal. That is why, if you remember, I am sure you don't remember, एक बार introduction निकालो. पार्ट वन इंट्रोडक्शन को लेवल कंट्रोल का डायग्राम निकालो. We have written first point क्या था? Consider a level control system whose control objective is to keep the water level in the tank at a prescribed height. Second point क्या था? Controller is an automatic device with error signal E of S as input, controller output P of S, affecting the dynamics of the plant to achieve the control objective. Controller output P is equal to F of E. और हमें E क्या है? E क्या है? अभी इधर सुनो. A controller or a compensator placed in the forward path compensates for steady state error. Compensates for steady state errors and sends an actuating or a control signal to the plant affecting its dynamics to ensure that the output remains at the set point or input value. You understand? For this control loop, this is the canonical form we have shown. This is the canonical form we have shown. The forward path we showed it as G of S. Feedback element is H of S. Feedback signal is B of S. Input is R. Error is E. To evaluate steady state error, you have to first of all obtain an expression for error. Referring to this canonical diagram, what is E of S? R minus E. This will become R of S minus CS into HS. R of S minus E into G is equal to C of S. E of S, G of S, H of S. Now take this to the left hand side. Take out E of S common. 1 plus G of S, H of S is equal to R of S. R of S by 1 plus G of S, H of S. This is called as expression of error, defined as error ratio. Error ratio is E by R. E by R is equal to 1 by 1 plus G of S into H of S. Now, say for some system, this input-output characteristics are given. This is the input, this is the output, and this is what is given. We are taking input and output on this axis. Referring to this diagram, as time t tends to infinity, how much error is present between this input and output here? 2 units. This I will write it in mathematical terms. As time t tends to infinity is expressed as limit. This is limit. I write limit as LT. T tends to infinity. Error E of t in this example is how many units? 2 units. Mathematically, this is the expression. At steady state, you are observing. This 2 units is defined as magnitude of steady state error and is represented as ESS. ESS का मतलब magnitude of steady state error and it is calculated using the expression limit t tends to infinity E of t. Limit t tends to infinity का मतलब final value applying final value theorem. ESS is limit s tends to 0 s into E of s. ESS is limit s tends to 0 s into R of s 1 plus G of L H of s. This entire expression is governed by this mathematical manipulation limit s tends to 0. So this is expressed as limit s tends to 0 s R of s by 1 plus limit s tends to 0 G of L H of s. What is this ESS? ESS is nothing but magnitude of steady state error between input and output. This is depending on two things. Type of the input. It is depending on what? Type of the input. And it is depending on the open loop characteristics of this control system. G of s into H of s. And what information you get from the open loop characteristics of a control system? Type. What information you get? Type. Steady state error's magnitude is now depending on type of the input and type of the system. That is why we have written that steady state analysis depends on type of the control system. समझ में आया? Yes or no? Yes. Steady state error. When you place a controller or a compensator in the forward path, the signal here is called as steady state error. This is called as steady state error. Steady state error का definition है, it is the difference between input and output. Steady state error का definition क्या है? It is the difference between input and output. When I write E of s is equal to R of s minus B of s, this B of s will indicate output. This B of s will indicate output if and only if H of s is 1. If and only if H of s is 1. Suppose if H of s is non-unity element, then you can write E of s as R minus B if and only if the non-unity feedback element is specified as a measuring element. It should be a sensor or transducer. Which means अगर यहाँ पे कोई 10 है या कोई function of s है, it should be compulsorily specified in the question that non-unity element is representing what? A measuring element. अगर ये measuring element है, then only this will be proportional to C. Then only this will be indicating output. And when it is indicating output, steady state error by definition is input minus output will be valid. So, when you write E of s is equal to R of s minus B of s, B of s will indicate the output if and only if the H of s value is 1. If H of s value is not 1 and some non-unity element is given, it becomes mandatory and necessary in that problem to specify that this H of s, which is a non-unity element, represents a sensor or transducer, because if this is sensor or transducer, then only this will become steady state. So in most of the, we have another concept which we will be seeing in the next part. When you have a non-unity element in the feedback, and if it is not specified as a sensor or transducer, then it could indicate a controller which is placed in the feedback block, which is called as output compensation. What is it? In the next topic we will see. So that is the reason why when you are calculating steady state errors, it is always desirable that this h of s should be 1. Agar h of s 1 hai, then it will satisfy the steady state error requirement, which says the magnitude of steady state error is the difference between input and. अगर नॉन यूनिटी एलिमेंट है तो वो मेजरिंग एलिमेंट भी हो सकता है, या नहीं तो वो कंट्रोलर भी हो सकता है, एरर कंपेंसेशन भी हो सकता है, वो आउटपुट कंपेंसेशन भी हो सकता है. We have confusion there. So therefore, to calculate steady state errors, it is the condition is it is better that the feedback gain should be. समझ में आया? और ये टाइप ऑफ द सिस्टम, ये टाइप ऑफ द सिस्टम हम क्यों पता कर रहे हैं? ये ओपन लूप कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ कंट्रोल सिस्टम से टाइप ऑफ द सिस्टम पता कर रहे हैं. Why are we finding this type of the system? Only to calculate steady state errors. इसलिए when you are finding the time, it is desirable that the gain of the feedback should be. ये है reason. समझ में आया? Yes or no?
Yes sir.
यहाँ तक लिखो. I will tell these points. A controller or compensator placed in the forward path, placed in the forward path Am I clear in my talk?
Yes,
टाइम बोले तो कुछ लोग ने टाइम लिखा, इसलिए मैंने बोला. The controller or compensator placed in the forward path compensates for steady state errors placed in the forward path compensates for steady state errors and an actuating signal affects the dynamics of the plant to achieve the control objective. Next, second point. The steady state error is the difference between input and output signals. Next point. The magnitude of steady state error, in brackets ESS, depends on type of the input and type of the system. And the type of the system. Therefore, to calculate steady state errors, it is desirable that the gain of the feedback element be unity. That is h of s equal to 1. You understand? If h of s is 1, error definition is met. What is the error definition? Difference between input and you don't have any confusion whether the feedback element is a sensor or transducer, whether the feedback element is not a sensor or the confusion will never arise when the gain of the feedback is. This is the reason. Error depends on type. Error is defined as the difference between input and output. This is first point. R of s minus B of s. B of s indicates output under two conditions. If and only if h of s is 1, then B will be directly equal to C. B will also indicate output if and only if it is a measuring element, that is a sensor or transducer. If you keep any sensor or transducer that is measuring the changes in output and same output is getting compared with input. Under two conditions only, error E of s, you write it as R minus B or R minus C. B you write when the feedback element h of s is specified as a sensor. Directly R minus C we can write if that h of s is, and we are not sure that when non-unity elements are present every time whether it is specified as a sensor or a transducer. It may be specified or it may not be specified. And that is the reason why if you observe any problems related to steady state errors, the gain of the feedback will always be given as always. If you see any problem, it will always h of s value will always be. You understand? We will also write this point that if non-unity elements are given, then it should be compulsorily specified as feedback elements which are sensors or. Next point. When non-unity feedback elements are present, then to find the type of the system and hence steady state errors it should be compulsorily specified. As feedback as measuring elements. It should be compulsorily specified as measuring elements. Feedback cut karo. It should be compulsorily specified as measuring elements. In brackets you write sensors or transducers. Sensors or transducers. ये कंपल्सरी कंडीशन है. ये क्या है ये? कंपल्सरी. अगर h of s में some constant term है या कोई s term है और मैंने स्पेसिफिकली दिया प्रॉब्लम में कि ये एक टैकोमीटर रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है या ये कोई एक मेजरिंग एलिमेंट रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा है, then you can multiply gs into error. We are writing it as r minus b. We are not writing error as r minus c directly. r minus b का मतलब क्या? b will indicate output if and only if h is a sensor or transducer. If it is not a sensor or transducer, then h should be, then only b will be equal to 10. This is understood? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
The reason is we have a concept called as output compensation. Thanks for writing it. Now listen here. What is this output compensation? You see, normally controllers or compensators are placed in the forward path. But if this controller or a compensator, if it is placed in the feedback path like this is also one of the configurations. You can also place these controllers or this is a controller or compensator. So when you place a controller or a compensator in the feedback path like this, then the signal that is going to the plant is not, whatever signal you have here is not steady state, क्योंकि यहाँ पे जो आउटपुट है it is not indicating output. यहाँ पे जो ये कंपैरिजन में जो जा रहा है, whatever signal that goes to the plant, this signal we call it as steady state actuating error बोलते हैं. Steady state actuating error का मतलब steady state error and actuating signal दोनों combine हो गए, and such signals are called as steady state actuating error. अब steady state error में और steady state error में there is a difference. What is steady state error? It is the difference between input and actuating error is not the difference between input and. So when you have any non-unity elements present in the feedback, it can represent controllers. अगर specified नहीं है कि वो measuring elements है, तो इसका मतलब वो क्या हो सकते हैं? Controllers हो सकते हैं. अगर ये controller है, तो ये क्या है? Steady state error नहीं है. अगर ये steady state error नहीं है, steady state error depends on type of the system. और type हम कैसा पता करते हैं? GS into HS. जब ये steady state error ही नहीं है, तो ये GS into HS तो गलत हो गया. Understood? So you can calculate type by multiplying GS into HS for calculating steady state errors if and only if this signal should be steady state error and this should be either 1, and if it is not 1, it should be compulsorily specified as, if it is not specified as feedback element. अगर समझो यहाँ पे 10 है, अगर ये feedback element नहीं है, तो ये proportional controller भी हो सकता है, क्योंकि proportional controller भी एक constant है. अगर समझो 10s है, अगर specified नहीं है कि ये tachometer है, derivative controller भी हो सकता है. You understand? So you cannot be sure if it is not specified. अगर ये controller है, तो ये steady state error नहीं है, ये क्या है? ये स्टेडी स्टेट एक्चुएटिंग एरर। अगर स्टेडी स्टेट एक्चुएटिंग एरर पता करना है तो यू कैन मल्टीप्लाई डायरेक्टली जीएस इनटू। अगर स्टेडी स्टेट एरर अगर पता करना है देन यू कैन नॉट मल्टीप्लाई जीएस इनटू। समझ में आया? क्लियर? डायग्राम ड्रॉ करो पहले। Controller or compensator placed in the feedback path controller or compensator placed in the feedback path compensates for changes in output. Compensates for changes in output. You see, इसका इनपुट क्या है? Changes in output. So it is compensating for changes in output, and a steady state actuating error steady state actuating error affects the dynamics of the plant, to achieve the control objective. To achieve the control objective. You understand? So अगर output compensation का problem है and a question is asked, calculate steady state error for it. इसका मतलब एक non-unity feedback element है and it is not specified. It's not specified बोलते it is compulsory related to output compensation and you are asked to calculate what is the steady state error. Steady state error calculate करने के लिए for these output compensation you have to convert the feedback into after converting the feedback to unity then you should multiply GS into HS and use the formula limit s tends to 0 s into R of s by 1 plus GS. You understand? Right. To calculate steady state errors in case of output compensation convert the control system into a unity feedback system. Convert the control system into a unity feedback system. You understand? By converting it into unity feedback system, और इसको हम यूनिटी फीडबैक में कन्वर्ट कर देंगे तो यहाँ पे जो भी सिग्नल रहेगा वो क्या सिग्नल रहेगा? इनपुट माइनस आउटपुट विल बी एरर. देन यू कैन मल्टीप्लाई जीएस इनटू एंड देन यू कैन प्रोसीड. हाउ टू कन्वर्ट इनटू यूनिटी फीडबैक विद एग्जांपल्स आई विल शो यू एज वी प्रोसीड इन दिस टॉपिक. बट ये कॉन्सेप्ट समझ में आया? स्टेडी स्टेट एरर्स में और स्टेडी स्टेट एक्चुएटिंग एरर्स में देयर इज अ डिफरेंस. अंडरस्टैंड? And steady state errors, you take any problem because compensators can also be placed in the feedback path. That is why problems related to steady state errors will always have unity. Always you see any problem. ये बहुत रेयर है कि कोई नॉन यूनिटी एलिमेंट है यहाँ पे और स्पेसिफाइड है कि वो सेंसर या ट्रांसड्यूसर. ये बहुत रेयर है. अगर नॉन यूनिटी एलिमेंट्स है और स्पेसिफाइड नहीं है So 100% we have to consider it as output compensation. वो कोई कंपेंसेटर या कंट्रोलर ही रिप्रेजेंट करेगा वहाँ। एंड जब ये कंट्रोलर या कंपेंसेटर है तो ये स्टेडी स्टेट एरर नहीं है, ये स्टेडी स्टेट एक्चुएटिंग। स्टेडी स्टेट एरर पता करने के लिए यू हैव टू कन्वर्ट दिस इनटू यूनिटी फीडबैक में कन्वर्ट करने से दिस सिग्नल हियर विल बी इनपुट माइनस व्हिच वी कॉल इट एज। इज दिस क्लियर टू ऑल ऑफ यू? नेक्स्ट सब हेडिंग यू राइट। Steady state error for different types of inputs. Steady state error for different types of, I'm sorry, cut करो। Next subheading is to obtain an expression of error with disturbances. Now listen here. Suppose if there are any disturbances in a system, are represented like this in a block diagram. This is G1 of S. This is the disturbance. This is G2 of S. This is the feedback element H of S. This is the feedback signal. This is the steady state error. So if there are any external disturbances in a system, then in a control loop, in a control system diagram, this is how the disturbances are represented. Take for example that level control system only. In a level control system, we had controller, control element, plant and measuring element. If you take the plant, only plant having inlet and outlet, we have written one transfer function of that plant with input as Qi, output as water level. In this diagram, which block represents plant? G2. तो ये प्लांट है, अब ये प्लांट में ये वाटर लेवल है, ये क्या है? अब ये प्लांट का इनपुट क्या है? इनलेट फ्लो है। Yes or no? ये प्लांट का इनपुट क्या है? इनलेट फ्लो। That inlet flow is represented as disturbance. अगर मैं सिर्फ प्लांट ही ले रहा हूं तो H of S by Qi of S. अब to formulate a control system for this plant having output H of S and input Qi of S, we are measuring these changes in the output through feedback elements, comparing with set point. ये क्या है ये? So that अगर कोई steady state errors है तो ये controller ये errors को निकाल देगा and it brings back the water level back to set point value. So in this diagram, if you represent it for level control system, ये क्या है ये? Set point है और ये क्या है? Inlet flow है, inlet flow. तो inlet flow यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? Disturbance. ये diagram समझ में आया? Yes or no?
Yes sir.
अब steady state error in a system can occur अगर इनलेट में कोई चेंजेस नहीं है, किसी ने सेट पॉइंट को चेंज कर दिया, किसी ने अगर सेट पॉइंट को चेंज कर दिया और इनलेट में कोई चेंजेस नहीं है, एरर होगा या नहीं? हाँ? इसके लिए या नहीं नहीं बोला मैं। अगर इनलेट में कोई डिस्टर्बेंसेस नहीं है, किसी ने सेट पॉइंट को चेंज कर दिया तो एरर होगा? अब समझ बैठ या नहीं? अगर किसी ने सेट पॉइंट को चेंज नहीं किया मगर इनलेट में चेंजेस है, इनलेट चेंज होने से क्या हुआ? आउटपुट चेंज हुआ, आउटपुट चेंज होने से एरर है। You understand? If you are asked to find what is error due to changes in input, you can't put D0 in the diagram. ये ऐसा नहीं कर सकते आप। If you are asked to find what is error due to disturbances, you cannot put R0 in the diagram. This you can do only for transfer function. If you are asked to find what is transfer function C by D, then you can put R0. If you are asked to find transfer function C by R, then you can put T0. ये सिर्फ ट्रांसफर फंक्शन के लिए ही है, क्योंकि ट्रांसफर फंक्शन इज फॉर आउटपुट एंड इनपुट बट नॉट फॉर एरर, क्योंकि ये एरर जो है दिस इज नाइदर एन इनपुट नॉर आउटपुट, इट इज अ इंटरमीडिएट क्वांटिटी. What is the expression of error, steady state error? We will see now. This is R of S minus V of S. This is R of S minus C of S into H of S. This is C of S, if you observe, is E of S into G1 of S plus D of S into D. E into G1 plus D, the whole thing into G2 is equal to C. Substitute this expression of C here. E of S is equal to R minus E of S, G1 of S, G2 of S, H of S minus D of S, G2 of S, H of S. Take this to the left hand side and take out E of S common. This becomes 1 plus G1 of S, G2 of S, H of S is equal to R of S minus D of S, G2 of S, H of S. Expression of error will become R of S by 1 plus G1 G2 H of S minus D of S G2 of S H of S by 1 plus G1 G2 H of S. This is the expression you have to use with respect to R or with respect to D. What is steady state error? This is the steady state error expression. Steady state error magnitude is ESS. Limit S tends to 0, S into E of S. It is limit S tends to 0, S into R of S by 1 plus G1 G2 H of S. Limit S tends to 0, S into G2 of S into H of S by 1 plus G1 G2 into H of S. This is the expression you have to use to calculate steady state errors with respect to input or with respect to disturbance. If you are asked to find what is error due to changes in input, in this expression you have to put D equal to 0. D d equal to 0 का मीनिंग क्या है? Inlet is not changing. Error is mainly due to changes in set point value. If you are asked to find what is error due to disturbances, then in this expression you have to put r equal to 0. r equal to 0 का मतलब क्या? Set point is not changing. ये error जो है, this error is due to changes in inlet flow. Understood? What will remain? Only constants will remain. Suppose आप s plus 2 by s plus 4 है, assume limit s tends to 0 लिए तो क्या है यहाँ पे बचा? 2 by 4 is nothing but constant term. Yes or no? So when you apply limit s tends to 0, ये g2 of s, ये product of g1 g2 का जो भी s terms है पूरे 0 हो जाएंगे. What remains? The constant term we call it as dck. What? हाँ? तो इसका टाइम कांस्टेंट फॉर्म क्या है? 1 plus s by 2, 1 plus s by 4. ये क्या है ये? dck. s0 लगाओ, s0. ये क्या है ये? You understand? अगर ऐसा है फंक्शन s plus 2, इसका टाइम कांस्टेंट फॉर्म क्या है? s by 2. ये क्या है ये? dck. s equal to 0 लगाना है तो पहले ये s को कैंसिल करना. लिमिट s tends to 0, s into लेके क्या है इधर? क्या है वो? dck. समझ में आया? गेन dck cannot be 0, cannot be infinite. अगर s0 डालना है नीचे डिनोमिनेटर में या न्यूमरेटर में s टर्म्स है तो पहले you have to cancel it. Then you have to put s equal to 0. तो वैसा in this example when you apply limit s tends to 0, all s terms will become 0 here. What will remain? Constants will remain. These constants are called as dck. Magnitude of error बोले तो for magnitude there is no negativity. g2 by 1 plus g1 g2. अब ये है error expression. अब this error can be reduced. Options if you see, eliminating the feedback. Eliminating the feedback का मतलब ये. अगर feedback को हमने eliminate किया, इसका मतलब disconnect किया. तो ये क्या बन गया? अगर ओपन लूप सिस्टम में किसी भी प्रकार के डिस्टर्बेंसेस हो गए, आउटपुट विल गो haywire, सिस्टम बिकम्स हाईली अनस्टेबल. तो वो ऑप्शन नहीं है. यस और नो? अब बचे क्या? वेदर यू हैव टू इंक्रीज द डीसी गेन ऑफ G2 और G1 G2 और ओनली G1. क्या है आंसर? यह है एरर एक्सप्रेशन. वेदर G1 G2 दोनों इंक्रीज करना या G2 इंक्रीज करना या G1 इंक्रीज करना. You have to increase the DC gain of only G1. समझ में आया? क्योंकि अगर G1 G2 अगर हम इंक्रीज करें डिनोमिनेटर में भी G2 टर्म है, एरर भी बढ़ेगा. एरर को कम करने के लिए you have to increase only DC gain of
बिना कुछ बोले ठीक.